Hello, today we have with us Oren Hershkovitz, the CEO of Enlivex Therapeutics, trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker ENLV. Oren, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Always great to be back.
Could you introduce Enlivex to our viewers and explain how your innovative Allocetra therapy addresses the pressing challenges of macrophage dysregulation in diseases such as osteoarthritis and sepsis?
Sure. So Enlivex is a next generation cell therapy. We have a very novel platform that target unique cells. It's a completely new modality. Those cells are called macrophages. Macrophages are critical cells in housekeeping and in response to inflammation and so on. However, in some inflammatory diseases, they become part of the problem. And in those cases, they are the cells you need to target. What we know to do at Enlivex is really to modulate, to reprogram those cells and make them cells that promote resolution. And this is really a very, very unique approach. And it's relevant for many different indications, as you mentioned, sepsis, osteoarthritis, other arthritis indications, and so on. The beauty about this is it's an off-the-shelf cell therapy, so very, very cost-effective. It's actually very simple technology. That's the beauty of it. And it could address really different unmet medical conditions.
Of course, Oren, there already are treatments for inflammatory and immune disorders. What makes Allocetra a standout solution in the field of immunotherapy?
Well, that's true, and that's very no, it's very supportive to the overall concept. However, most of the companies are addressing different cells and different approaches. Really, no one is taking the approach of holistic modulation of macrophages and to take them from a pro-inflammatory cells to lead them to become a pro-resolution cells, and by that to treat the core of the inflammatory disease, the pathophysiology of that disease. So in that perspective, really Enlive extends out as a different approach to treat inflammatory indications. And we are targeting many different indications where we know that macrophages play a pivotal role in the development of the disease and in the chronic state of the disease.
Oren, you recently announced positive interim efficacy data in patients with moderate to severe knee osteoarthritis. Tell us a little bit about that trial.
Yeah, that's we're very excited about that. So as you mentioned, this was an interim data from a phase 1/2 study. It's actually a randomized, blinded, controlled study, but has a phase 1 open label arm where we treated 12 patients. We published data from the first 12 patients that we treated. We gave them Allocetra injection into the knee, and those patients has knee osteoarthritis. Maybe a word about osteoarthritis first. Osteoarthritis, it's really a huge unmet medical condition. We know that it's about 30 and above million adults in the US suffering from osteoarthritis, and there's no good treatment for that. So we have several programs in osteoarthritis. This is the leading one. The first 12 patients that we treated, we gave them a single injection, 3 injections into the knee that is affected by the disease. And we monitor them mainly for safety, but also monitor them for efficacy. And efficacy means pain. How much pain they report their pain assessment, subjective pain assessment. So how much pain do they have? And on a scale from 0, which is completely healthy, to 10, which means really unbearable pain, the average starting baseline of the study was about 6 and above, and they dropped in their pain report by 3 months by 50%, and that's remarkable. Their functionality was increased by more than 40%, and actually most of the patients were responding to the treatment. So this is very exciting, and most importantly, leads to the phase 2 part of the study now, which is a randomized control part, and we're looking for the data outcomes second part of 2025.
Oren, I personally hope you get a lot of progress done on knee osteoarthritis because I've got a touch of it myself. Tell us, How big are the market opportunities for Allocetra?
Well, all the markets that you are targeting are really multi-billion markets, and all of them share the feature of being an unmet medical condition, means that they don't have an FDA-approved drugs, and really nothing that treat the core of the disease. In osteoarthritis, patients are taking pain reliefs or steroids, which is very limited because of the adverse events. So there's nothing really effective. Markets are huge. Markets are really huge, and all of them share the fact that also macrophages plays a critical role in that pathophysiology of those diseases. So all of this contributes to the fact that we're very optimistic about what's going to happen in those different studies that we're currently running.
Enlivex has a very strong cash reserve. How long of a runway does this give your current development programs?
So the current conservative estimation is until the end of 2026, which means we have a cash runway to execute all the different clinical studies that are on our pipeline. Some of them were discussed here. Several catalysts during 2025 on the different programs. All of them are well funded. We have actually plain vanilla capital structure, no debt, nothing like that. And therefore, we are focusing now on executing our plans.
In summary, Oren, give us the essential value proposition. Why should investors take an interest in Enlivex today?
Okay, so I think the first thing that we didn't talk about is management experience. There's a seasoned management in Enlivex that already were involved also collaboratively in drug development and taking drugs from preclinical to approval, both from the business side, exit with the previous companies and so on. So really seasoned management. That's the first most important thing. The second thing is the technology. It's really stand out as a new modality that we developed that is a platform that could target many different diseases and indication. All of the markets all the indications we're currently targeting are really huge markets with with unmet medical conditions. There's already lots of safety data and initial efficacy data for the platform, and many catalysts. And again, as we said, our cash position is in a state that we can cover all those activities. So really exciting value proposition.
Oren, great story. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.